Amazing day to all. This is Teacher Dan Rogayan, and welcome to another episode of our Left Review Drill for Science Majorship bilang paghahanda natin sa inyong upcoming board exam come March 2025. So our review focus for this episode would be plant and animal biology. So this has been our drill number 7, and I hope that you already watched our previous videos to help you at least remember and recall the salient concepts for our science majorship. Of course, we'll start with our goal to pass and even top the board licensure examination for professional teachers. So, kayang-kaya natin yan, future LPT Science Top Notchers. Ilang araw na lang, no, ang ating paghahanda and let's do our best, no, in order to cover all the necessary areas, no, for our majorship. Okay, so as I mentioned, our focus would be on plant and animal biology under the discipline of biology. So for this episode, uh, we will answer 10 items and we will rationalize them later. So it will be focused on the two learning outcomes. First, demonstrate familiarity with the classification of plants and animals and their basic needs for survival. And second, show how plants and animals maintain homeostasis and energy acquisition for sustainability. This is anchored on PRC's enhanced table of specification or TOS issued in 2022 by the Board for Professional Teachers. Okay? So handa na ba kayo? I hope you have your paper and pen, no? With you, sabayan po ninyo ako sa pagsasagot ng ating 10 items for this drill. Okay? So I think we're ready now. For the first question, what is the main basis for classifying plants into vascular and non-vascular groups? A, ability to produce seeds. B, the presence or absence of specialized tissues for transport. C, habitat in which they grow. Or letter D, shape and size of leaves. So what do you think is the answer? What's the basis in plant classification into vascular and non-vascular? Okay, of course, no? Once we encounter this question, our answer should be letter B, the presence or absence of specialized tissues for transport. And we know that non-vascular plants are a group of plants that lack specialized tissues. No? They lack the xylem and the phloem for transporting water and nutrients or organic substances. Instead of vascular tissues, these plants rely on diffusion, no, and osmosis. Remember, our osmosis is diffusion in water. So to move water and nutrients throughout their bodies. So as a result, they are typically small, they grow in moist environments, and do not have true roots, stems, or leaves. Okay? And when we try to identify some of the bryophytes, no, or the non-vascular plants, no, these are the examples, no. We have here the mosses, the liverworts, and the hornworts. So mosses actually belong to phylum Bryophyta. They are small green plants that grow in damp areas. Okay, while liverworts belong to phylum Marcantiophyta. They are flattened, lobed plants that thrive in wet environments. And lastly, we have hornworts, another non-vascular plant, phylum Anthoceratophyta. So named for their horn-like reproductive structure. So basically, these are the three examples of bryophytes or the non-vascular plants. And if you want to compare, no, the xylem and the phloem or the plant vascular system, so for xylem, so these actually transport water and minerals. So xylem, water and minerals. Phloem, food in the form of sugar. So organic substances or nutrients. Okay? Xylem, water and minerals. Phloem, food or sugar. Okay? So in xylem, it's a one-way or upward flow, no, as you can see here in our illustration, while the phloem has two-way flow, no, two-way flow for phloem. So for xylem, transport is bulk flow due to negative pressure, while the transport here in phloem is osmosis and turgor pressure. Okay, so xylem has hollow dead cells, while phloem has live cells with no nucleus. Xylem has no end walls, whereas phloem has perforated end walls. Xylem forms center of the vascular bundle, while the phloem outside edge of the vascular bundle. And lastly, xylem is rich in lignin, which supports the plant, while the phloem transports amino acids, mRNA, and hormones. So that's our plant vascular system, the xylem and the phloem. Okay. So these are examples naman of the vascular plants are pteridophytes or the spore-forming plants, angiosperms are our flowering plants, and our gymnosperms are the non-flowering plants. So for the spore-forming plants, we have the club mosses and the ferns. Angiospermae, we have the roses and tulips. Then gymnosperms, we have conifers and cycads. Okay? The vascular plants are plants with xylem and phloem. Okay, number two, which of the following is a characteristic of gymnosperms? A, they produce flowers. B, their seeds are enclosed in fruits. C, they produce naked seeds. Or letter D, they're reproduced through spores. So what do you think is a characteristic of a gymnosperm? Okay, of course, gymnosperm produce naked seeds. Angiosperms are actually produce flowers. Okay, so here, no, for the seed-producing vascular plants, no, we have the gymnosperms and the angiosperms. And gymnosperms are plants that produce naked seeds, not enclosed in fruits, and most are evergreen with needle-like leaves. So example are the pines, the spruce, the fir, the ginkgo, and the cycads. On the other hand, angiosperms, as I mentioned, are flowering plants, okay, that produce seeds enclosed within fruit. So they are the most diverse group of plants. So these are the example, the roses, the oak trees, the grasses, apple trees, and tomatoes. So grasses are angiosperm, no? In the previous board, no, na tanong na yan, which of the following is an angiosperm? Grasses, no, usually ang nilalagay, no, na PRC. Okay? Next question, number three. Which group of plants reproduces through spores? A. Angiosperms. B. Gymnosperms. C. Ferns. D. Cacti. All right. So spore reproduction. Okay. So alin po dito ang sagot? Feature S, LTT top notchers. Of course, that's our ferns. Ferns po ito. Okay? So here are some seedless vascular plants. No? These are the ferns, the club mosses, and the horsetail. So these are actually the seedless vascular plants. Okay? So the ferns are plants with true roots, stems, and leaves that reproduce via spores instead of seeds. So they have fronds and grow in moist environments. So we have the Boston fern, the staghorn fern, the maidenhair fern. Then we also have club mosses as example of seedless vascular plant. There are small evergreen plants resembling mosses but with vascular tissues. Now they reproduce also using spores. Okay, so these example of these are of course Lycopodium and Selagenelia. Okay, horsetails are plants with hollow jointed stems containing silica. They reproduce through spores and thrive in wet areas. Equisetum or the scurrying rush is an example of a horsetail. So all of these are again seedless vascular plants. Okay. Question number four, which of the following is an angiosperm? A. Pine tree, B. Apple tree, C. Moss, D. Fern. Remember that angiosperm are plants which bear or produce flower. And so, we have apple tree. No? Dahil may apple fruit yan. So, letter B is the correct answer. So, pine tree is a gymnosperm which produce naked seeds in cones rather than in fruits. No? Apple trees are angiosperm as they produce flowers and seeds enclosed in fruits, the apple fruit. Okay? Moss is a non-vascular plant that reproduce via spore and do not produce seeds or flowers. And fern is seedless vascular plant that reproduce through spore rather than seeds. Okay? Next question, question number five. Which of the following is an invertebrate? A. Frog, B. Jellyfish, C. Dog, D. Snake. All right, so what is your answer here? Okay, of course, that is letter B. So that is jellyfish. So jellyfish is an invertebrate. Okay? So among the options, this is the only invertebrate. The rest are vertebrates. Okay? So frog are vertebrates, no? They actually are amphibians with a backbone. Okay? While jellyfish is an invertebrate, no? They belong to phylum Cnidaria. Okay? So they are cnidarians. So that lack a backbone and have a soft gelatinous body. While the dog is a vertebrate, no? Which belong to class Mammalia with a backbone belonging to phylum Chordata. While the snake is also a chordata, no, it's a vertebrate, no, which belong to class Reptilia with a flexible spine. So basically, jellyfish anidarian is an invertebrate. Okay. Question number 6. What characteristic is unique to mammals? A. Presence of scales. B. Laying eggs. C. Producing milk for their young. Or letter D. Breathing through gills. So which is a unique characteristic of mammals here? What's your answer, future LPT top notchers? That's actually letter C. That's correct. Producing or production of milk for their young. So that is a unique characteristic of class Mammalia. Okay. So the present scales characteristic of reptiles and fish and not mammals. Laying eggs, while some mammals like monotremes, okay, including the platypus and echidna, these are egg-laying mammals, diba? Our monotremes, like the platypus and echidna, they lay eggs. However, many reptiles, birds, and amphibians also lay eggs. So this is not really unique characteristic of mammals. So producing milk for their young, of course, this is a defining characteristics of mammals as they have mammary glands that produce milk to nourish the young. And lastly, breathing through gills found in fish and some amphibians, but not in mammals because we use our lungs for breathing. Okay? Next question, question number 7. What is the largest group of animals in the animal kingdom? A. Mammals, B. Birds, C. Reptiles, D. Insects. Okay? So the largest group of animals in the animal kingdom actually belong to phylum Arthropoda. Now remember that phylum Arthropoda is the largest phylum in the animal kingdom. And these organisms, the insects, belong to phylum Arthropoda. The second largest phylum is actually phylum Mollusca. Okay? So insects, the largest group of animals, making up more than 75% of all known species in the animal kingdom. So belong to the phylum Arthropoda, as I mentioned, and includes species like the ants, the beetles, the butterflies, and the bees. All right. Okay, next question, question number 8. How do plants adapt to desert environments? A, by growing large leaves. B, by storing water in the tissues. C, by reducing root size. Or letter D, by living in water bodies. So, how do plants really adapt to desert environments? This is letter, what's your answer? That's correct. Letter B. By storing water in their tissues. So they store water in their tissues to really adapt to the desert environment, which is characterized no, usually for hot desert, no, dry and arid environment. Okay, so examples of desert plants are the following: the cactus, like the saguaro cactus, prickly pear cactus. They store water in stems, has spines instead of leaves. They use as CAM photosynthesis or the crossylation acid metabolism photosynthesis. Mesquite tree has deep taproots to reach underground water. Aloe vera stores water in thick leaves with a waxy coating. And lastly is desert wildflowers, which grow and reproduce quickly after rain, completing their life cycle before the dry season. All right, so these are just some example of desert plants. Okay, and our largest hot desert is Sahara Desert. But the largest desert in the world is Antarctica. Okay? So when we talk about CAM photosynthesis, no, or the crossylation metabolism, okay, acid metabolism, no, it's actually specialized photosynthetic process used by certain plants, particularly in arid and semi-arid environments, to minimize water loss while still carrying out photosynthesis efficiently. So it allows plants to open their stomata during night instead of during the day. So reducing water loss in hot and dry or arid conditions. So examples, the cacti, the succulents like the aloe vera and the agave, the pineapple, the jade plant, or crassula, and of course, some orchid species. Okay? All right, next. Ayan, so these are just some differences between the COM and other types of photosynthesis, like the C3 photosynthesis and the C4. So these are some of these are the types of photosynthesis. And in terms of the stomata, C3 photosynthesis, the stomata is open during the day, and also C4. However, for COM, as I mentioned, during nighttime. Okay. For carbon fixation time, this is during the day for C3. For C4 during the day but uses specialized cells. And then for CAM photosynthesis, the carbon fixation time is during the day. So, best, no, ang C3 photosynthesis during in a cool, moist environment, while C4 is in a hot, sunny environment, while the CAM photosynthesis is best for hot, dry, or arid environments. Okay, so these are our photosynthesis types. Okay, in terms of other features of these types of photosynthesis, for the first carbon compound, the C3 is actually has three carbon, no, or three phosphoglycerate. Okay, so that is 3-PGA, thus the name C3 photosynthesis. For C4, we have the 4-carbon oxaloacetate, and for the COM, we have the 4-carbon malic acid. For photorespiration, very high for C3, low for C4, and very low for COM. Okay, for COM photosynthesis. Now, in terms of water use efficiency, now low for C3 photosynthesis, medium for C4, and then for COM, high. Okay, high water use efficiency. And we mentioned that cool, moist climate for C3, hot, sunny climate for C4, hot, arid climate for COM. Okay, then day and night in terms of the stomata opening. Okay, so some examples of species, no, or organisms for C3 photosynthesis. Of course, yung rice natin or rice sativa, the wheat, barley, oats, soybeans, most of the trees and potatoes. So basically, commonly, no, sa mga plants, C3 photosynthesis. Then for C4 photosynthesis, we have our anong tawag na nga dito? Corn or the maize, no? The maize, no? Scientifically known as maize, sugarcane, or sorghum, or millet, amaranth, and crabgrass. While for photosynthesis, we mentioned this already earlier, the cacti, the succulents, pineapple, and orchids. Okay? Some species of orchids. Okay, question number 9. Which process allows plants to produce their own food? A. Respiration. B. Photosynthesis. C. Transpiration. D. Digestion. So what do you think is the answer? Of course, for the production of food, that is yes, it's photosynthesis, no? Production of food, no, being done by the autotrophs or the producers. And this is the reactants, no, and the products and the reactants and the products of photosynthesis. All right. So we have here the reactants, carbon dioxide, 6 carbon dioxide plus 6 water molecule, right? So these will serve as our raw materials or reactants. And it will give us these products, the glucose, C6H12O6, and 6 oxygen gas or oxygen molecule, which is considered, no, oxygen is considered as a byproduct or waste product of our photosynthesis. Of course, this happens, no, by in chloroplast, no, with the capturing of light by the chlorophyll. Okay, so that is our photosynthesis. Okay. And the last question, question number 10, which of the following animals belongs to the class Amphibia? A. Snake, B. Frog, C. Eagle, D. Shark. Okay, so which among these options are amphibians? So of course, this is our frog. No, frog is an amphibian. All right. So snake is not an amphibian but a reptile. It belongs to class Reptilia, characterized by scales and laying shelled eggs. Frog, of course, are amphibians. on class Amphibia. They live both in water and land, undergoing metamorphosis from the tadpole to adult frog. While the eagle is actually belong to class Aves, characterized by feathers, beaks, and flight capacity. While shark is a cartilaginous fish, okay, which belong to class Chondrichthyes. Okay? So having skeletons made of cartilage instead of bones. Pag bones naman, osteichthyes, no? The Chondrichthyes, skeleton, osteichthyes, that's bone naman. Okay? These are some of the classes of fishes. Okay? Agnatha naman, mga jawless fishes. Right? So I think that's all for our drill, no? For the plant and animal biology. Laban, papasa po tayo. Keep fighting. Patuloy lang sa paghahanda, pagre-review ng ating mga salient concepts sa ating science majorship. So sa mga hindi pa po nakapanood ng ating mga previous let review majorship drills and majorship discussion. You can find them in our YouTube channel, Teacher Dan Rogayan. Okay? So once again, maraming pong salamat until our next video.